welcome to a new Detective Squirrel Investigates video, and in this video we will be looking into the strange case of the Pollock Twins. In 1957, a horrific car accident where a woman believed to be under the influence of several drugs after losing her two children crashed into another car which contained three children. The three children were 11-year-old Joanne Pollock, her 6-year-old sister Jacqueline, and their 9-year-old friend Anthony. Joanne and Jacqueline were killed in the crash. Anthony died on his way to hospital. A tragedy indeed, especially for the parents, Florence and John Pollock. But a year later, Florence was delighted to give birth to twin girls, Gillian and Jennifer. But once the twins began to grow, some strange occurrences began. The only sign of things to come was that Gillian had a birthmark on her left hip, almost identical to the one Jacqueline had had. Jennifer had a birthmark on her forehead, one that looked eerily like a scar Jacqueline had received from falling onto a metal bucket. Florence said that one time Gillian pointed to Jennifer's scar on Jennifer's head and said that she had got that when she fell on the bucket. Gillian and Jennifer then began to fail to acknowledge being called by their names, only answering to Joanne and Jacqueline, the names of their deceased siblings, of which they had no knowledge of, or at least as far as their parents Florence and John were aware, having never told the twins about their older sisters. Then Gillian and Jennifer began only playing with toys that had previously belonged to Joanne and Jacqueline. When they went on day trips and were asked where they wanted to go, they would always mention the favourite places of Joanne and Jacqueline. Also, they would often become frightened near cars, their parents reporting that once they heard the girls crying out, "The car is coming to get us." One time Florence heard the girls playing, reenacting the car crash. Gillian was cradling Jennifer's head, saying, "The blood's coming out of your eyes. That's where the car hit you." John became convinced that Joanna and Jacqueline had been reincarnated into Gillian and Jennifer. Florence, on the other hand, as a devout Catholic, refused to believe in reincarnation. John arranged for Canadian psychologist Professor Ian Stevenson to see the girls. Professor Stevenson was a devout believer in reincarnation and had studied several children. In Professor Stevens' opinion, Gillian and Jennifer were the strongest evidence he had ever seen of the existence of reincarnation. In 1966, Professor Stevenson published a book entitled 20 Cases Suggestive of Reincarnation, and went on to publish other books on the subject, including Children Who Remember Their Previous Lives. So what about the Pollock twins? Well, after they turned 5, things settled down and everything became normal. No further signs of their deceased siblings encroaching in on their lives anymore. So I hope you enjoyed this little mystery and found it informative. In the meantime, this is Detective Squirrel out.